Hey, everybody. Yeah, we're still setting up. No worries. No worries. We should be starting any minute. That's why I went live. I just have some very minor layout things to fix in the meantime. I'm still fixing these up. How's everybody doing today on this post-Christmas? Christmas is over. It's finished. Alright, now we are starting. Let's do it. This time I'll try and get that timer on screen. Is it on screen? Let me see. It is not. I gotta find a place for it. Whoops. We got so much space used up. Maximizing that. There we go. I feel like this one needs to be this way, yeah. The players can do whatever they want in terms of Chaos Emeralds. It's their call. I'm not really concerned about that. That's up to them. Seems like a lot of them are going for the good stuff. We are pulling audio from Pocket Robin there. That wasn't clear. Hopefully that's clear. I think these are the first bonus rounds in Sonic that are really like a thing that you can play. But I can see why they'd make you sick. We're just doing a little Sonic 3. No Knuckles, just Sonic. Sonic 3 completes journey. After playing through Sonic 2 again, I realized that this is the Sonic that I like the best. But maybe if I play through this one, I'll change my mind. I don't know. The half-pipe bonus is Sonic 2's, which is an unreactable disaster of a thing that you might have good memories of, but if you try and play it, you're going to realize that it's impossible to do without knowing it in advance. Dropping comedy. Anyway, I realized one thing I'm missing is the chat. Let me get that up there too. This is a new-ish layout of sorts. I'm gonna find out what happens if I load a second OBS and switch scenes on it. Oh, I guess nothing. Nice. Things you love to see. I just need a link from my other thing here. It just works. Cool. It didn't crash, folks. Now we're living large. I'm gonna add your chat onto the screen here. Oh, there it is. Welcome, everybody. It's been 5 minutes. I've seen a couple people grab some Chaos Emeralds. I think we have already got 2 or 3 on some of these folks. It's my understanding that you can get a bunch of them. I think the rules are different in every Sonic game, but it's my understanding you can get a bunch of them in the second and third one. Like, you could get maybe all of them in the first stages if you wanted. If you were efficient. That may be a thing, and then you can enjoy having Super Sonic for the rest of the game. That may be a thing. I think that's a thing. You can tell I'm a good Sonic commentator, bringing all the Sonic facts that I don't know. I only have maybes on that. What was I mentioned for? I don't know. I'm so confused. Oh, I see. I can fix that. Yeah. There it is. CC is now on. We're closed caption friendly all of a sudden. Well, sort of. We do our best. Let me edit that a little bit, but yeah. Should be business. As we do more and more of these, I'm going to get better at running them again, and the process of making this layout look a little better. Being on time and not, you know, starting at 8:30 instead of 8. Having a co-commentator. All goals, all fine objectives for the future. You know, in the year 2023. The sync that Shadowhog and Mr. Torture have is incredible. Mr. Torture being like a millisecond set of numbers behind Shadowhog, whose screen I need to fix, by the way. I'll work on that. When I fix it, it's gonna mess up a little bit, but just for a second. That's fixed. Does everyone else's look good? I think so. Everyone else's looks about right. We have some very experienced Sonic players in this. There are 7 racers, in fact. One of them dropped out, and we still were left with 7. Dust Minion, I think, is the one not pictured currently on screen. People have been doing the bonus rounds because there's like 6 or 7 of them, right? There's 7, I think. And, once you have them all, you get supersonic when you have 100 rings in the regular game, and you can get the good ending, I think, fight the final boss, whatever, maybe. Being able to go into supersonic form is nice and fast. It maybe makes up for the time you spend in the bonus rounds. I'm not sure about that, but it certainly makes the game easier. Plus you get that true ending. You like Tails as a cute little pal more than Diddy Kong? But what about bitches galore? I'm trying to think of what my favorite Sonic stages are, and then I thought it was Sonic 2, but after playing it myself last week, was it last week? Maybe. I think it was. I was like, once Chemical Plant Zone and the Gamble Zone ends, I'm like, not a big fan of anything left in this game. That's kind of it. This game here has a lot of good stuff. These people have played this before, I think. There's no obligation for them to have done that, though. It's not some official thing. It's just a fun tournament match. Not really a tournament, just a match. I just set up a race and said, hey, you want to do Sonic 3? And the people who signed up. And you can sign up in my Discord. You can just, when an event gets made, you can just join it. We do various things. We did Sonic 2 last week. It's not always Sonic, though. And it probably won't be next time. It's because I'm running out of Sonic here. I'll find some more stuff. Games that I can commentate a little better would be Mega Man. That would be my default, but Mario is certainly on the list for the average choice. You're welcome to join, though, if you feel like it. I'm thinking we're going to usually run these on Sunday nights and Monday nights. Around this time. I'm not afraid to host a Contra race. Contra 3 is like a 15-minute game if you're winning at it. Like if you aren't dead, you're gonna beat it in 20 minutes. Almost certainly. I think the person named Hedgehog probably has a lot of Sonic experience. And based on the racing that I've seen that I was in, I can probably confirm that, at least for Sonic 2, but they're doing really well here too, so... It looks like a pretty competitive race, honestly. We're 15 minutes in, and I believe 5+ Chaos Emeralds have been collected by most of the players. Is the Knuckles side of this game new stages, or is it just with Knuckles? I can't even remember. Did they add content for that? Is that a whole different set of games? I don't think I've ever played it. They are allowed to use the stage select the game over. You know, just again speaking to how lightly ruled this race is, they can do just about whatever they want in terms of in-game passwords and stuff. And I consider stage select to be a password as long as they use it only to go back to where they were. Once again, I'm looking at 3 out of the 6 players I'm watching collecting the same emerald. Just 18 minutes in and an almost perfect sync. But are they in the same stage? Because that's not necessarily true. It's a little hectic here, but it looks like everyone's achieved the emerald. That's number 6. And yeah, it looks like they are in the same place. To the letter, Pocket Robin and Dark Matter in the same place. Like, in the exact same place. Extremely. And, Shadowhog is not far behind. A couple steps. Pocket Robin, I think, is entering her final Chaos Emerald area. Dark Mat lost the rings, gotta be careful. They're doing great at these, too. I mean, you can lose these, of course. You can lose these bonus rounds. They're not free. Especially at this point. It's easy to get lost in them, and the longer you go, the faster Sonic gets. He has no self-control. Dark Mat may be the first one to get them all. 7 to go. Uncle Robin's looking for 2 more. That's it. Number 7 is acquired. Shadowhog's got it as well. Pocket Robin cannot find those last 2 orbs. Oh, jeez. This is what happens. This is how it goes. This is my Sonic 3 experience every time. There they are. Alright. 3 players, almost at the same time, have gotten all 7 of those emeralds. I like the half pipe. It's just not done well. I would like it to be remade to be more fair. The orb game is pretty fair. I think you can do it without knowing the entire thing, which is my big complaint for sure. Oh hey, it's the spy fiction alerts. Thank you. Put that up there, as out of the way as I can get it. Damn, Extreme Zero got crunched. Thought they were gonna make it. Mr. T, I think, is working on their final one. I can't remember the color palette here. The Wario Land one. 6 or 7. I can't remember which one this is. Sonic, what the hell was that good one? Sonic Mania had like a Mario Kart one where you were chasing some beast and you had to catch him and kill him to get your emerald. Was it emeralds? I don't even remember if that's what it was. That sounds right. I forget what collecting every single ring in this stage does. But it does something, right? No one seems to be bothering with it. Every bonus round ring, 1 continue. I mean, that's good, but what a mean way to give you a continue. Mr. Torture has acquired the 7th emerald as well. Pocket Robin has, I guess, going back to one that they missed earlier, now they have all 7. And we have Supersonic on the left twice, by both players who are just in the lead at the moment, cruising through, no surprise. If they aren't in the lead already, they're gonna start getting there fast with this ability, because this is super strong stuff. I think you can still get crushed, you can fall into pits, certainly, but you move way faster, you are immune to enemies. You just need rings to charge it up. Not a very high amount of rings either. And in this game you have the lightning shield, right? You can help get rings that way, and I think Supersonic even attracts them to himself anyway. Takes a breath, turns supersonic. I'm gonna check in on the 7th player, because it should be pretty easy for me to do that. Looks like they are also in the same zone.
Alright, let's go super.
Hey, there's the very tiny feet. Is that good?
Now, I don't know.
Sorry for the noise. Who knew that game would be so loud? But how loud was it in decibels? There we go. I'm gonna give them, let's see here. %50 opacity. This is a good idea. There's that distracting. Everybody's audio at once, I can do that. I love audio. What did you think? I don't think that OBS has very good functions for the thing you're asking for, where you just move an object around. I don't think that there's any natural thing for that. There's probably a script that does it. In fact, I'm sure there is, which I don't have. But you could have it bouncing around with something like that. Nothing I currently have, but I know people have done it. OBS is so fully featured that it's kind of bloated with features. It's got some stuff that hardly anyone uses. I would put that on the list of hardly anyone would use that, so I'm not too keen on them putting it in just to do it, but They could put it in the filters list easy enough, I guess. We're gonna use that vertical space for player 7. Just stretch that up there. Yeah. OBS is an incredible piece of software. I've always, ever since I went into IT, I've always been big on open source software. When Photoshop was like $1,500 for a version that would go out of date in a couple years and you have to buy it again. And there was a free version of, you know, paint.net. around, like all the stuff that was in Photoshop was in this open source stuff. OBS. Way better than, I don't even know if the competition still exists anymore. There was some paid for broadcasting software. Flash Media Live Encoder was the very first one that I know of by Adobe. What a mess. XSplit was the name of the primary opponent, and it was pay for. And I don't know if it's still around, it probably is, but it was less featured before too long. I used to be a lot more IT minded than I am these days. I don't really know that I could go into the field and survive as a career, but I used to be able to. And in 2007, I was broadcasting before most anybody. Like there were sites where you could broadcast a webcam easy enough, but to broadcast a video game and to get a good frame rate, to pull the audio, to get all of that, I had to use some Japanese untranslated window capture software just to capture the window, and I would pipe that into Flash Media Live Encoder. Then I would force it to connect and pretend to be a webcam. And that's how I broadcast Overlord, the DLC. I was broadcasting in 2007. Extreme Zero missed that 7th emerald, they almost had it. I've always had a pretty top-of-the-line computer, and it was a lot to run that software back then. My computer is very old these days. I could use an upgrade. Maybe I'll get one this year after MagFest. I got festival expenses coming up. I gotta host a panel. I got a lot of prep to do. Did y'all like Xmas Arcade Pit? That took a lot of prep, but it's the same kind of prep that I'm gonna need for the panel, so it's good that I got that practice in. I could see what was wrong and what wasn't. Most things were right. It's not my first rodeo with that, so I'll be able to load that panel up quickly since I just did all the same things I need to do. I need to hard load some content into the screens and make images for them and all that. Most of Xmas Pit's work was aesthetics and features that were just jokes, like the coal joke. The coal took forever. We had to make a wheel, customize it for the coal. We had to build the coal spitter that allowed us to give various amounts of coal. They had physics on them so that we could add as much coal as we want. And then the calculations were too heavy for my PC, so we had to optimize it. Well, I didn't do any of that. Orinthius programmed all that. I was just, you know, I was just saying, hey, I can't run this. Maybe we shouldn't do this. And we made the adjustments as we needed. I have a problem. Maybe I have attention disorder or something, where I only get ideas with no time left at all, and I have to crunch, and I have a hard time focusing on my ideas until the time limit is as thin as possible. So I had ultimately about 3 days to prepare for Xmas Pit because of that. And I was working day and night. When I wasn't broadcasting, I was working on it. And still, we pretty much worked up until 8:15 p.m. that night when we were supposed to start at 8 on the features, and we just got the CSS working right at the end and stuff to make it look correct because we were having some issues. Thank you for the sub. So Xmas Pit was using games that I had no choice but the Gong Show because I didn't have time. I didn't want to skip work, but I didn't have time to make the challenges, so I needed... If you pay attention to the Gong Show, you'll see me making states, like on the sly. I'm not making them to make it easier on myself. I'm making them because I needed challenges. I needed content made, and I didn't have time to make the actual content, so I did load every Christmas game I could think of and just called it Christmas Gong Show because I thought that was appropriate anyway for content for me outside of Xmas Pit, which nobody knew was happening, really. I don't think even the players knew, but they probably thought something was up. So I had to double my time up there to make sure I got it in time. Making the content was pretty fast compared to all that other stuff. I wrote down a list of games that had Christmas stuff, and Author Blues told me the Grinch was good, which was a lie, but for this purpose it worked alright. Some of the games I picked I didn't think were very interesting. I didn't have time to do screen crap or anything else. I would like to do that next time we do something like that, instead of just having all video games. I actually think that's pretty boring. Like, the playing video games part of the show is... It's okay in moderation, but if it's all the show is, I think it's pretty boring. If you go to my Easter pits and watch those, hands down the most boring part of them, in my opinion, is when people are playing something. Like, no matter what the game is, no matter how funny it is, it's still... the worst part of it. It's so slow, everyone else is sitting around. I think it's a letdown for 4 people to just be sitting around. Try not to do that too much. There's a lot of game design thinking that has to go into my show to make it fun that I'm always worried about and trying to fix. And especially on these special pits, I try to make them different. So that's why I was able to load some Saturn game and some PlayStation stuff. To take advantage of the opportunity. Having 4 players on hand who know what they're doing, and have played a bunch of arcade pits before and understand my system, makes it a lot easier for them to play content that is strange. I could probably get some indie games bumping at some point with that kind of player list. See, I couldn't find any Christmas games at all. I searched Google. I was like, Christmas games, any system, tell me, and I wasn't getting anything back. Elf on the GBA would have been on the list probably. One of my problems is that I don't want to tell anyone, even my co-host, what I'm up to, so no one knows what I'm working on, so I can't ask for too much help. I think it's funnier when no one knows if I'm doing something special. It's the first Christmas pit we've had that was actually Christmas themed. The 2 players on the left are cruising. Player 7 is the tiny box there that is very small. That's Dust Minion. Metal Gear Solid is a game series that I was thinking about going through all of. I don't know if I could stand it, but I was thinking about I would like to see all of those, play through them. I really liked Metal Gear Solid when it came out. That was my game. I was speedrunning it before speedrunning was a thing I'd ever heard of. On the Millennium New Year's, I was at a party. I was like 15, and I beat the entire game in front of them before New Year's happened, and they couldn't believe that I could conquer that so quickly. I remember doing that. But it's been a long time. I tried to play Metal Gear Solid 2 not too long ago, and I couldn't stand it. It wasn't really my thing at all. And I have played Phantom Pain, like the very, very last one. And it was very confusing. Didn't know what was going on. Accidentally killed Quiet, not really on accident. She shot at me, so I blew her up. I wasn't very good at the stealth part of it. That was almost irrelevant. I like Ice Cap Zone a lot. This level picks up, like the game continues to be good this late in, which is kind of a first for Sonic for me. I don't usually like the late game Sonic stuff very much, and you got Death Egg in Sonic 2 to make sure that you don't have a good time. Oh, you got this guy on the mic who is a villain that I'm familiar with from Metal Gear Solid, but I don't know anything about him beyond that. So like, missing like 7 games of context, I just think he's this jerk who really likes revolvers a lot, and he's on the mic with the other guy from Metal Gear Solid 1, telling me they're having an argument about whether I should kill her or not. And the first one, the guy who's for killing her speaks first. He's like, she's a mutant, she hates you, she's trying to shoot you in the head, why don't you get rid of her? So I'm like, okay. I just did. You know, it made sense to do that to me. I don't know. These bosses are really easy for Supersonic. What a jam. NES Home Alone is really confusing. I don't understand how you're supposed to win. I don't understand why you can hide or why that works or why it doesn't. Catsworth did it and hid for 3 minutes and she had no trouble, and then every other time she tried to do it, it only lasted 1 minute. So what is the deal? When does it work and why? I think you need to know all of this stuff to be able to beat that game. It seems like you run out of time if you do direct loops like Ryudo was trying to do. Which is what I try to do. You know, you just drop stuff and oh, eventually you run out of supplies. 20 minutes is an egregious amount of time. Can you just hide in the tree and put traps by it and just be ready to bail if they catch you? Is that a good strat to win? Just have an escape plan? Like if they both trip on it, you can just go, I imagine. I guess the problem is that sometimes they run past without spotting you. There's other places to hide too. Launch base. 3 players are on this one now. The way Catsworth immediately went to go hide in the tree was really... Have they played this game before? Levels of what? I've never tried that, I don't think, ever. I'm not sure if Extreme Zero is stuck or doing a goof. I think Supersonic can drown. Being immortal doesn't give you, well, it's just damage immune type of immortality. You're not completely unbreakable. Honestly, it sounds busted, but like, kind of better that Sonic runs this way. Like, he's faster, it feels better. Being immune to these silly little enemies that are just nuts. They always come out with on-screen shots as soon as they spawn. Game feels better without them being a threat. I don't know. You still have other threats that work just fine. I would like some kind of middle ground. I think the enemies that are super good at killing you are just too strong. They make no sense in this game. Like the mantises from the second game that are just ready to go as soon as they're on screen. They just fire some sickle that chases you down. What do the Robotnik screens do? Oh yeah? Maybe they hurt some lesser Sonic, but not Super Sonic. We're only 48 minutes in and we're getting really far into this game, right? Like, there's not too much left, I don't think. I always feel like these games are really long, but to play them, I guess adding Knuckles into the mix wouldn't, it would still be beatable in a night, right? Or just an afternoon, you could just sit down and do this in 3 hours. For some reason, it just felt repetitive, like I was doing a Ghouls and Ghost loop or something. I don't remember the exacts. Looking like some kind of boss. Yeah, we're not currently playing Knuckles. I'm planning on doing probably Dark Crusade because I'm in the middle of a campaign of that. We're in the part of the campaign where I'm really going to start moving too, because I have enough force to take out just about any base I want. We're playing as the Orcs. I need to finish Battle Network 2 as well, which I probably am less than halfway through based on the length of that. I did do a second and third session of that so far, so not sure. If I can find players, I wouldn't be opposed to doing a Dark Crusade like tournament match kind of thing. I'm ready to do another damage shuffler. I think Extreme Zero is having maybe internet troubles, not sure. So they're gonna bail. Dark Mat is finished in 51 minutes. I want to switch Dust Minion in. Player 6. The question for the damage shuffler is, how deep should I go? Should I have it be bigger than last time? Should I add Mario, Battletoads, and all that other shit? I'm gonna put the player times on screen here in just a second. Because I can. Why not? Just gotta impact my layout even more here. All right. I think that's a third finish. I'm just working on this thing here still. Layout work is such a pain in the ass for me. If I were a regular broadcaster and I only had one person to focus on, man, this layouts are so much easier. Everything I do and these things that I do in my show, I have to multiply everything times 4, and in this case I have to multiply it times 6, and in that rumble pack I have to multiply it by 16. Every single thing that I change has to be done this way, and it adds up. Alright, I've got it. Takes me a second to do just what I need to do. Here's some Samari for you. Alright. Alright. Wonder where it's saved. I haven't messed with this thing in a long time. I think we could probably switch the audio off. Yeah, hold on a second. Pocket Robin's whose audio is currently playing, but if everyone else is good, we could probably switch to Rob here. I think they are also just doing Sonic and no voice, so that's what I need. There you go. Bubsy 2 is pretty bad. I think it's hard to fix that game. It's really lousy stage design. It's a problem for it. Well, Pocket Robin finished in 54. I'm having trouble getting their thing on screen. I guess I could just manually do it. I'll have to automate it later, though. I'll have to fix my software. This game is so fast. At least for these players, it is. It's looking like 2 more people are gonna finish real soon, and Rob is in the final stages. Dust Minion in 102.28. I think the Jaguar is actually being added to BizHawk in the newest version. The absolute most alpha version of BizHawk has Jaguar support. Unfortunately. Like the way you fight the boss here with Supersonic is to just stay on top of him. I actually think Bubsy isn't that bad. The stage design is, though. Like the core, what do I want to say? The core mechanics, the core gameplay, the functions, the way he's designed, all of that stuff feels okay. The stage design in every single one of the games is a nightmare, though, and that's... You can't have it without that. Like, there's none of that's never been done well. But you could take the system and design something. I'm not a game designer beyond what I designed for my show. You would need a Sonic game designer to come in, really, is who you'd probably be looking for. You'd want this kind of level for him, and it would work. I think it would be good. It's not too bad. He definitely needs rings, but the system where he dies so easily is no good with all the enemies that are around. But the flight, the gliding and stuff, that's just Knuckles. Bubsy 2 doesn't die in one hit, but Bubsy 2's an even worse game because the stage design is even worse. Bubsy has a thing where he goes into glide mode where it's it not only removes fall damage that never should have existed, but it also does this kind of, it's like a combat form. It's a binary state. Is combat form active? If it is, when you ram into an enemy, you win. If it's not, you lose, and that's all it is. And it makes things a little bit less frustrating, sort of. to have that kind of control over the situation. I ain't gonna sit here and pretend it's a good game. The stage design is a very important part of the game. It's what a lot of, I mean, there's so many Mega Man ROM hacks. Mega Man at its core is an extremely good NES game. Once you play all the stuff that is in the NES library, you start to appreciate Mega Man, even the first one, for what it is. And almost all those ROM hacks go nuts on stage design and completely drop the ball. So I wouldn't recommend them. But obviously, I think the core gameplay in those is good. Especially like Mega Man 5, 6, those are really tight. For some reason they picked Mega Man 2, which has less features, but maybe it's just easier to work with. Maybe they just have a soft spot for that one or something, I don't know. I feel like Mega Man 5 is the tightest one for game design, like from the mechanics point of view. The engine in that is the one to use. So I lean towards all the Mega Man 5 ROM hacks I see. I try them out. But they usually miss, and it's because stage design is tough. It's a very important and difficult thing. They're usually overtuned as hell. They usually want to be the hardest thing. They always up themselves. I will add some ROM hacks to my shuffler that I actually like. I'm going to try to avoid adding them before checking them this time, so I don't run into a Deus Ex. Or, that other one that I couldn't even get iframes in, like they turned iframes off. Minus Infinity. Mega Man 5 just got Mega Man 5 on the Game Boy, Mega Man V. It just got a ROM hack in the form of like one of those DX ROM hacks that make it colored. It's a Game Boy game with color now. It's, you know, it's got the full palette of the Game Boy Color. And it has some other features too, and it looks really good. Definitely the version to play of that now. I think it removed a lot of the latency. From what I could tell, it didn't remove all of it, but it did remove some. I think it's pushing that system to its limits in a good way. That came out on Christmas Day. I was looking at it just yesterday. Oh, Mr. T finished at 103.39. I'll type that in too. It's interesting that those aren't on the same wavelength. OBS is silly sometimes. I'm not sure what Hedgehog's playing. Looks like Quake or something. Everybody else chose a Sonic adjacent game, sorta. There's one. That's the stuff. Man, I can't believe the Saturn was a real system. It's one of those things like who owned these things? Not saying it was bad to own one. I'm just like saying like literally who had these suckers, man? I didn't have any friends with these things. Were they out in the year of like the PlayStation? Were they competing with that? Like I was playing Chrono Trigger in Final Fantasy VI. My friends were just getting Tomb Raider. And then somebody out there was playing the Saturn. Was that the timeline? I remember getting Chrono Trigger, finally, after having played a copy of my friend's. Going over to my other friend's house to try and convince him it was a cool game. And he was loading up Tomb Raider and jamming that, and he wasn't interested in what I had to sell at all. You could shoot at the butler, he'd block with his tray. Imagine the gameplay of Lara Croft's 3D adventure. Not that I wasn't playing GoldenEye, you know, in a couple months. Wow, Rob's got this down. You just hit the boss 4 times. Rob is last to finish. There was a forfeit, I think, because of stream issues. This is the end of our Sonic race. I'll probably go offline for a little bit and then come back on with Dark Crusade. I'm gonna, yeah, that Dark Nuke, Duke Nukem Forever. I'm gonna play that. It's on archive. I have it. It's open to the public. I think it looks like Blackthorn, the SNES game, except on PC only. I don't know. We gotta try that out. I gotta give that a shot. I haven't actually played a Duke Nukem game like ever. Forever will be my first one to sit down and actually play. I stuck with Doom, I don't know. Moved on to Half-Life when I got older. Didn't play a whole lot of them shooters. Rob is finished. At 1:16:27. It was a lifetime ago. I was a completely different and probably much worse person, much more annoying when I was a teenager. I mean, who wasn't? But yeah, I was the aggressive, competitive gamer teenager who won money in shooters, and I had the attitude of somebody who always won at that, too. I'm sure I couldn't stand my own person at this point. But I did have a career in that field for a while that I kind of bailed on because I didn't get paid one time. I decided to go into actual IT. So I'd lean towards the shooters I played were the ones that had an online component. So I was definitely attracted to those. Given the opportunity to, you know, actually make money at it. Just gonna do a little tweaking. When I was doing it, there was not really a community for that kind of thing, so I probably made the right choice. But I have the student loans to show for it now. I didn't end up going in the career I tried to get into. I bet if you were like Fatality or one of those other guys who were #1, like literally #1, you could have made a career at it then, but not me. I wasn't that good. I went to tournaments and stuff, but it just wasn't a thing. Just wasn't a thing. I think it became a thing around the time Dota 2 released. Like a real thing where they were winning millions of dollars. Fighting game community probably was ahead of it a little bit. But people were playing Quake 3 for money and stuff, and I was trying. I wasn't good at Quake 3 in particular. I was okay, but like that was a very tough one. Those guys were really good. I'd never found a likeness anywhere else ever again. And all the time I've played any FPS, I've never seen anyone as good as this Quake players I played against were. They were crazy. And there's still people playing that who are just as good as they ever were. Like I go to Halo after playing Quake 3 and being medium at it, and I was top tier. Like I just having the experience from Quake 3 and then moving to something as slow motion as Halo made me a god on the field. Like I was just average at Quake 3, but that's good enough to be the best in Halo, because damn, that's a slow game. Went to Overwatch when it came out and brought those Quake 3 skills to the rockets and stuff. And no problem getting up the ladder in that. Boy, that game came and went. Fucking Overwatch. Counter-Strike was also a very slow one. Very easy. TF2 also pretty slow. Faster than some of them though. Faster than Halo, but I had no trouble with TF2 either. Could have done something in that game. Anyway, that's Sonic. I appreciate everybody signing up to race. We're gonna do another one next week. I'm not sure what. we're probably going to do something on Speed Bump. The answer to that Overwatch question is no, I haven't even looked at it. Blizzard as a company is absolute trash at this point, like publicly so. So I'm not even going to interact with them anymore, given the choice to not. I'm just not going to. But even if I was, I still don't think they're going to sell me on Overwatch 2. It looks like, from what I've heard of it, it doesn't sound good. Somehow it's more popular than the first one, though. I'll be back in probably 10 or 20 minutes. And I'll do some Dark Crusade. I'll let people discuss that kind of thing before I just outright boycott something. I don't have my pulse on the community that way, so I usually just navigate discussions and make my opinion after I read some facts. And Blizzard is definitely out for me, at least in its current form. But if Microsoft is buying them or something, I don't know. Guess I'll see you. I have no idea. Well, yeah, I'm gonna go take a little break. We'll be back for Dark Crusade.